gives you the depth of feeling that there is amongst ordinary people, but still they ignore us. And of course, you know that the French voted against in their referendum only 2 years ago. The French voted no. The Dutch voted no. They won't give the British a referendum on the new Lisbon Treaty, which is the final treaty, which is a self-amending treaty. So the democracy has been completely removed. There is absolutely no democratic dimension now.
Sir, we've got a break.
The European system of government.
Long segment coming up. Continue along that thought line and how we beat these people on the other side. I mean, obviously, we warn more people about the undemocratic nature of these people, but what else can we do?
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones.
Just a few days ago, Chris Matthews praised Saul Alinsky, the admitted hardcore communist, called a communist by the American Communist League and others, who called for putting Americans in re-education camps, who dedicated his book, Rules for Radicals, to Lucifer. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, truth is so much stranger than fiction. Under national security, they declared Hillary's thesis, only the cover page was public. They declared national security on it. They've done the same thing with Obama's, but now Kurt Nimmo, webmaster for Infowars.com, just sent me this. And they've reportedly gotten more of the thesis. I was just given this during the break. Let's check and see how much of it's there. Because, I mean, part of it's always been public. Dude just walked in and said the thesis was just released. Let's check and see if this is the whole thing. I mean, we know the cover sheet praises. There is only the fight, an analysis of the Alinsky model. A thesis for the scholarship requirement for a Bachelor of Arts degree under the Special Honors Program, Wolsey College, Wellesley, Massachusetts. Hillary Rodham Clinton, Political Science, May 2nd, 1969. She probably wanted to get the paper in on May 1st. Was a bit late, though. Okay, communist holiday. These people make me sick. But why do you see such big banks, big money for socialism and communism? Because they can pool the middle class's money, run our lives. The monopoly capitalists can shut down their competition, and then they can have a gaggle of armed thug communists running around enforcing it for them. Going to economist, military veteran. He's on the Economy and Monetary Affairs Committee of the European Union Parliament and the Environmental Committee as well. Godfrey Bloom is our guest. Sir, dealing with the mindset, you've been in the Parliament, 5 years?
I have indeed.
And so you're around these globalists, you're around these, most of them lapdogs, most of them from Eastern Europe, who openly love tyranny. I'm not bashing Eastern Europeans, but most of these guys are former, I guess apparatchiks is the word, or commissars. I've seen the list. Many of them were hardcore thugs for Khrushchev and people. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And so all of that's going on. What is their mindset? What makes them tick? And how big a blow was this, what happened at Copenhagen, and what is the environmental movement really to these people? Because my research shows they're not useful idiots. They know it's a cold-blooded resource grab. They know it's a scam. I mean, we've got local commissars here in Austin I've talked to over dinner, and they say, Alex, join the team. We're robbing everyone. I mean, it's a big joke to them. Do you get the same thing out of these people?
I don't in the Parliament, no. I'm dealing with people who are not as clever as that. I'm dealing with people who are fundamentally stupid, a lot of whom haven't had the benefit of what I would regard as a formal education. You heard in the speech that I made at the beginning there, which I made to the Parliament, we're dealing with people who think that carbon dioxide is some sort of pollutant. I'm dealing with people who don't know the difference between carbon and carbon dioxide. I'm dealing with the difference between people who don't know the difference between carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. I'm dealing with people who are almost incredibly stupid, and they are deliberately placed there by the main parties not to make a fuss. So when it comes to things like Copenhagen, you're actually dealing with members of my committee who actually believe this nonsense. And they believe this nonsense because they want to believe it. And, of course, there's nobody so gullible as somebody who wants to believe something that they've been told, because it actually now is a thread through every committee me, is this green thread that runs. It's a power grab. It means that we can grab more power all the time from the people, undermine the democratic situation, because if we don't take away these powers that people have died for under a democratic society for years, that the world is going to end. It's a wonderful line, Alex, isn't it? We know that we're breaking with democratic tradition. We know we're doing things that people don't want, but if we don't do this, we're doing this to save themselves. We're doing this to save the people, to save the planet. It's a superb one-liner. And, of course, in all the state schools in the United Kingdom, this is being pushed forward under the special system that they have now in English state schools, where they are told, teachers are told what they can teach, how they can teach it. Most of the information in our country comes from television. Most television here is BBC. All the senior appointments at the BBC, the Director General, the Governor, the presenters, are all employees of number 10 Downing Street because that's how the system works. So there's this absolute relentless barrage of bogus junk science that's been pushed at the people, and it's been going on now for ages. But what is interesting enough, that still the Times newspaper did a survey a little while ago, just a few weeks ago, that said over 50% of ordinary people don't believe a word of it. So there's still plenty of hope.
Absolutely. There is a lot of hope because this is undemocratic. It is tyrannical. And in history, if people just continue to tell the truth and continue to expose a fraud, it will implode. Here's the problem, though. Even though they've been exposed as scam artists, as frauds, the establishment just continues on down the same path. And they're so over the top in their fraud. 3 years ago, I interviewed David de Rothschild, the heir to the largest Rothschild fortune, who was then billed as savior of the planet. Here he is on the cover of Outside magazine, The Hero Gene, How to Tap Into Yours. And it actually says in here that he's like Jesus Christ. I guess the Rothschilds have always thought they were the Merovingian line. And so it says he is a savior. He is a Christ. I mean, this is a new religion. Al Gore has said they're going into religion. The plastic Jesus. And then I have Al Gore here saying he is this is Newsweek, the eco-prophet. And it says he's the thinking man saving us. When I had Rothschild on, he said, I said, why are the ice caps on Mars melting? They've since started getting larger again because the sun's cooled off. And he said, because the Mars is closer to the sun than the Earth. And I said, no, Mars is the next planet out. And I said, why are the moons on Jupiter and Saturn melting? And he said, well, they're closer to the sun than the Earth. And I said, no, they're not. And you know, he laughed at me, not because he didn't know, but he thought my audience was like the general public, so dumb. I mean, Al Gore